How do we explain the feeling when we know we've been somewhere before? Is this feeling coincidence, or is it possible we've lived past lives? A woman in Scotland believes that she has lived before as a young king who died 450 years ago. Two sisters killed in a car accident are believed by their father to have been reincarnated as twins in the same family.
Okay. And what is the action?
I'm walking down a path in the woods.
A woman undergoes regression therapy to learn about her previous life.
As I'm walking, I start to feel that somebody's watching me.
Is it possible to discover if we have lived past lives? One of the greatest generals in the history of warfare was George S. Patton, a brilliant commander with an uncanny sense of cavalry tactics. He was a philosopher and poet, and had a fundamental belief in reincarnation. Once, as he drove through the French countryside, Patton heard the sounds of a distant battle. He was certain he had fought here before, as the commander of a Roman legion, or perhaps as a Napoleonic general. General Patton's belief in reincarnation, in his timeless military experience, gave him the confidence that his decisions were right above all others. For anyone who has had that uncomfortable tingling, that memory of an event they could not possibly have witnessed, there may be a way to unlock the past. It's a technique called regression therapy. Loy and Robert Young teach reincarnation at the Experimental College at California State University at Northridge. The Youngs say past lives is not a new concept.
Reincarnation and the belief in reincarnation is a lot older than the belief in the one lifetime idea. In fact, up until the Middle Ages, a majority of people in Europe believed in some form of reincarnation or rebirth. It's only in more recent times that we've gone to this one lifetime theory. In fact, nobody's ever proved that we've only had one lifetime.
What I'd like to go over briefly is just the description of reincarnation and karma.
In seminars, the Youngs discuss the principles of life and rebirth.
Now, reincarnation just simply means that a person keeps coming back and coming back and coming back until they reach a stage of perfection.
Classes are told that problems we experience in our present lives, such as emotional traumas, can be traced to a previous existence. The Youngs feel that if we discover our past lives, we can understand and thus solve our current problems.
When you work with regression therapy, you're really going back for the cause, see? If you just stay in this lifetime, all you've got to do is to blame your parents for what went wrong with you, or maybe your early childhood training or something like that. And as soon as you can go out of this life, you're not limited to time, then you can go after the real cause of something. And when you can find the real cause of something, that's it. You're finished.
Few psychologists agree with the Youngs, who are almost alone in practicing regression therapy.
Oh, hi. I'm Lloyd. Hello. How are you? That's my husband.
Lucia Capacchione is a practicing psychologist and author who for many years tried unsuccessfully to understand why she felt fear in her relationships with men. She came to the Youngs hoping she could benefit from regression therapy.
So comfortable. All right? Good. What I'd like to do first, really identify this problem that you're having with men. Could you tell me exactly what it is?
Well, I've been through a series of relationships with men in which either I'm not getting what I want out of the relationship or the man isn't. It's very unsatisfying.
Okay. Is there like sadness or is there fears? What could you identify it a little bit more closely?
Well, at this point, I feel a lot of fear about it.
Now, have you ever had like any reoccurring dream, anything connected with men, something that's happened over and over and over?
Lucia has recently experienced nightmares, which could be symbolic of events from a past life.
Could you tell me briefly about it?
Well, in the dream, I'm asleep in bed, and I sense the presence of a stranger, a man outside who's trying to break into the house to harm me.
Just close your eyes and relax your body. I don't want to give you the commands because I don't want you to go into a hypnotic trance in any way.
The next phase begins with a series of sensory awareness exercises to completely relax Lucia's mind and body.
And continue like that.
These therapy sessions last for several hours.
Now, if it is not in this life, then, if that's pretty sure nothing like that has ever happened, we need to focus out of this life now. Focus out of this life.
Lucia says that the incident in her nightmare has never actually occurred in this lifetime. Therefore, Loy concludes that the cause of Lucia's fears could be hidden in a past life.
Really use your intuition.
This is the key moment in regression therapy.
And there, right there. Okay.
Loy must now guide Lucia back to a previous existence.
Well, I'm in a woods, and daytime, it's like early afternoon. I'm a young girl, wearing a long white gown of some kind. It feels like a Greek gown, yeah. Well, I'm walking down a pathway, and I feel the leaves under my feet, and I can hear them crunching.
All right, let's move to the crisis part, and let's find out what happened.
Well, as I'm walking down this path, I'm alone. And I sense the presence of somebody behind me somewhere in the trees. There's somebody there. It feels like there's somebody watching me. And I'm really scared. I don't know what to do because I'm alone. And I don't know whether to scream or run or...
Stay with it. Just
Help me! Somebody coming from behind me. Somebody has hands around my throat. And I can't move. I'm so scared.
all right. Going through it.
I can't see who it is because there's a black thing over my head. And I'm being pushed down to the ground. I can't see anything. I can't move. There's a man. That man killed me.
Release that life now. Release and let the lifetime go.
Mm-hmm.
And you can slowly open your eyes. There we go. And how do you feel now?
I feel better. Yeah.
See? See why it wouldn't unblock without going out of this life?
Yeah, I've never experienced anything like that in this lifetime.
A few weeks later, Lucia met a man and is now involved in a satisfying relationship. So from Lucia's point of view, regression therapy seems to be working. However, there are often conflicting views about reincarnation. In England, two daughters do not agree with their father's belief that they are the reincarnation of their two sisters who had been killed. Yet there are compelling reasons to support their father's opinion. Scarborough, England, May 5, 1957. Joanna Pollock, aged 11, and Jacqueline Pollock, aged 6, were walking to church when they were struck and killed by a speeding motorist. John Pollock, the father of the two girls, was devastated by the tragedy. Yet out of his profound grief and later events, he began to accept a bizarre theory.
I have no belief at all that my daughters are here other than their mortal remains. My two daughters were reincarnated.
John Pollock was convinced that, in fact, he never lost his two daughters.